And friends, here we are with a new topic, that is procrastination is a dream killer. Do you think so? Me too. That's why I invited a guest who will help us in dealing with procrastination. Her name is Dr. Onika Shirley, and she is mother of 6. She is an international procrastination strategist and behavior change expert and motivational speaker. She is the founder and director of Action Speaks Volume Orphanage, home in India, and founder and director of Action Speaks Volume Swing School in Pakistan. Let's welcome Onika. And how are you,
Yes,
Onika?
I am doing great. So glad to be here on today.
Same here to have you. So we are ready to dive in and have some great views of yours. So tell us
Yes.
more about yourself.
Okay. As you said, I am the mother of 6. I am the founder and CEO of Action Speaks Volume Incorporated, where I am known as the procrastination strategist, behavior change expert, where I help women build unshakable confidence, stop procrastinating, and to get their dreams out of their head into their lives.
It makes me wonder, how do you get the time to do these many things? And I know
Yeah.
that you have 9 to 5 job as well.
Right. So you have to map it out in your head. I use mapping, and I literally map out my day in my head. And just to give an example, just yesterday, I knew yesterday was the day after a holiday. So you had a Monday on a Tuesday, and everything was it could have potentially been very wild. But I planned my day in my head. I planned my day on paper. And I was able to maneuver through the day, get everything that I needed to get done, because planning is a key, but it starts in your head first before it ever hits your paper.
So can you define procrastination for us? What is procrastination?
Yes. So procrastination is really delaying a thing that you could do today to a later time, because it's either an unfavorable thing, it's either a thing that you're not sure that you can do, or a thing that you just simply don't want to do. So it's delaying the reaction, delaying the result of a thing that could be done now to a later day. And sometimes we say someday, but someday is not on the calendar. So we have to either get it between Sunday and Saturday.
Right. So can you tell us your tips and advice? How can people who is struggling with procrastination, like there's no choice but to procrastinate or wait for the last time that I have to deliver this task, and on the deadline I'm like having lots of stress, lots of work. How can we deal with it?
Okay, so first I would like to say, when we work at that capacity, we're not giving our best, because we're spending some of the energy that could be actually on the task, looking at the clock, worried about the deadline. And so how could we deal with that would be planning. How could we deal with that would be, where we do time blocking, where we do task stacking, and where you put some time aside for a certain task. But like when I work with a client, we go to the root. So we start with the foundation to see where is the procrastination stemming from. Because a lot of times when we procrastinate, there's a underlying fear that either tells us that we cannot do this task, or we are a perfectionist that feel like it's not going to measure up to someone's expectation, or we're not going to have it perfect in our own minds, in our own heads. And so I think, to get to the root of what is the fear of completing this task? What is the thing? What is the feeling that we feel? What is the emotion that we encounter when we consider a certain task? Because it's not all the time big task, or it's not all the time tasks that we procrastinate on. Sometimes we procrastinate on washing dishes, and that's the thing we know how to do. But why do we procrastinate on washing dishes? Why do we procrastinate on washing the clothes? Why do we procrastinate even on the things that we know how to do? But we find that there are ways and there are things that could be done to eliminate it. And sometimes it's just delegation. And one thing that I like to say, and I'll put a pin in it here, is we don't have to be a 10 to be effective. We can be a great 7. And we can also delegate and allow other people to help us. But a lot of times, as procrastinators and perfectionists, we feel like others cannot do it the way that I'll do it, so I'll just delay doing it, and sometimes miss the opportunity for getting it done because I want it to be perfect, but it's not done.
So you are saying that procrastination is some fear or the perfectionism? So how can we both? Okay. So how can we deal with this situation?
So let's deal with one of them at a time. So being perfect, again, to know that you don't have to be a 10. A lot of times we have a fear of others' expectations. We have a fear that is not going to meet the expectation of others. So when we give ourselves permission to not be perfect, that's a way to deal with it. One, because now you don't have this high bar that you have to hold yourself to feel like and we start over. We continue to start over and start over. I like to learn and go. So you learn as you go, because sometimes we can be procrastinators, where we're planning and planning, and we're not going anywhere. Instead of us doing it, improving as we go, testing it, seeing how it works. Because a lot of things that we're judging ourselves and self-sabotaging ourselves on, other people are not even paying attention to it. Like, I got to have a perfect website. I need to know if you can solve my problem. I don't even care if you have a website. So we would spend time procrastinating on having a perfect website for people that do not require a perfect website. They want to know if you can solve their problem. So to have to be perfect in an area that may not even be necessary, it's procrastination, and it's overwhelming, and it gets us out of balance, and it stresses us out. So that's the portion on, being perfect, to think that, you don't have to be perfect, that you are enough just the way you are, and you work on improving, and to know that success is failure. So if it's not right at first, that's okay. It's okay not to be a 10. Again, you can be a 7 to be effective.
Right. That's a good tip. Like, it's okay to fail. It's a learning path. Yeah, that's nice. So can you tell us procrastination, how it is doing the self-sabotage thing? How do we self-sabotage when we are procrastinating?
So it's self-sabotaging because we're judging ourselves on areas and in areas that other people are not even paying attention to. Or we're telling ourselves that this thing is not going to be perfect. It's not going to work. Nobody want to hear it. Nobody want to have what I have. And you will be very surprised at how many people need what you have. Because one, our gifts are not for us. The things that we do are not for us. And the better we are at it, the more that we will be called on to do it. But on the flip side of that when we feel like, okay, nobody wants what I have, but they are waiting. They're waiting for you to show up. And so it's not other people that's stopping you, because sometimes you may have 99 people that's saying you can do it, but one person will say that I can't, and then I won't. But one person can say that I can, and 99 people can say that I can't, but I will. And that one person is always us. So it's not other people a lot of times stopping us. It's the self-judgment that we have on ourselves to think that it's not going to be good enough. It's not going to look like this person's. It's not going to measure up to the expectations. And you got to think about, the measurement is based on who? Who give the measurement? According to who, to say that it has to be done like this? And as entrepreneurs and business owners, we become entrepreneurs for the freedom to do things the way we want to do, and to meet the expectations of our customers and clients, and not our critics. not our friends and families that are not paying for our services.
Right. That's a good one. Thank
Yes.
you. So, what do you think that why we are self-controlling and self-judging? Why we are doing this?
I think we do it from a lot of it derives from fear, a fear of failure, a fear of facing the facts that, this may not turn out perfect, a fear of, what people may think. And I think that is like a huge, huge, huge impact. Because when you think about, as when we were little kids, we had no fear. We thought we can do everything. We had those childlike wonders. We tried everything. If we fell off of our bikes, we got back up. If we stumbled when we tried to walk, we didn't say, well, I don't want to walk anymore. I'm not going to try this. But as adults, when we fail or we fear that somebody see us fall, we would not go back to a place before again, because we think, okay, somebody saw me. Somebody saw me when I failed. Somebody saw me when that wasn't correct. So I like to think that we have to get back those childlike wonders, to think that everything is possible, nothing is impossible, and to just get up and walk again, and get up, ride the bike again, get up and try it again. So I think that the number one thing is the fear of who see me, the fear of who saw me fall, the fear of who saw me having to start over. The fear of people is a huge reason why a lot of people procrastinate.
Right. It's like we are living for people, not for us. When we
Yes.
start living for ourselves, maybe then we will not procrastinate.
Yes. Yes.
So tell us more about, how did you start on this journey? Why did you choose to help people in their journey not to procrastinate? Because it's stealing their dream.
Yes. So that's a great question. So I decided to help people because I saw a lot of individuals letting their dreams die, because procrastination is a dream killer. Sometimes we can miss opportunities of a lifetime, but when we delay responding, when we delay researching, when we delay jumping into the wave, we will wait. A lot of people will wait to see how is it going to pan out for you. They will wait to see if you're going to fail. They want to see you try it out first. And by the time they get ready to jump on the trend, something else has changed. And so I saw a lot of people that I was around suffering from, doing things that they really didn't like, but they had dreams inside of them that they was afraid to birth. And so I said, I've been down this road where I can help you, I can assist you to get your dreams out of your head into your life, and stop being your number one critic. We are, and so as I saw that, as I work with individuals and I saw the impact that I had, the change that they were making just by working with me, that it gave me an opportunity to help them, but it also propelled them to go further in life and do the things that they love versus doing the things that they were expected to do by family and friends.
So people think that the person will think that I am procrastinating from years, right? It's my habit. Yes. So how come I now change, or we now change? Because it's my habit. How can we change my habit?
Procrastination is like any other habit. Procrastination is learned. You're not born with it. And so when you think about, you have to first make a decision. There is power in decision. And when we learn that the decision that I'm making is either benefiting me or is hurting me. And so you have to make a decision. Do I want to continue to travel down this path that I'm going? Or do I want to do something different? And we know that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So if I've missed out on opportunities, if I am stressed out, if I am unbalanced, if I am missing a lot of things that I love to do, and I'm stuck doing things that I don't even want to do, I don't have passion about doing, we have to make a decision. And a lot of times The decision cannot be made and stayed with the mind that made the mistake or decided that, procrastination is going to be my thing. You got to have help. And so you're not going to be able to do it. A person will not be able to do it by themselves because it's hard to break a habit. It is so hard to break a habit. And so to answer your question, if we're going to change a habit, we have to first make a decision. We have to acknowledge that we are procrastinators, and we have to acknowledge that I need help with this. I need help with this because I can't do it by myself because this is what I'm used to. So you need somebody to hold you accountable. Somebody that's going to be there, somebody that's not going to be judgmental, but somebody that you trust their opinion, that they will help you get out of this rut of this thing that we call a habit. We have to say that, enough is enough and too much is too much, but I'm ready to live the life of my dream and to get stuff done.
Right. So now my question is there any daily habits, because it's not affordable for everyone to get a coach or consultant for everything. It's now in this pandemic, everyone is crazy about finances. So can you tell us, is there any daily habits or rituals someone starts with to at least stop little bit procrastination?
Right. So I think the first thing that one could do is create a new habit, interrupt your story, interrupt your old habit to where you make a decision and start off with 2 or 3 things that that you procrastinate with. Write them down and say, okay, what are the steps? What are the processes? What are the things that need to happen in order for me to accomplish what needs to be accomplished? And, a lot of times, even on, day to day, we like to have to-do lists. To-do lists are like old, and to-do lists can be very taunting and overwhelming because a lot of times we have way more things on our list than we have time to do because we all only have 1,440 minutes. So the first thing that I would suggest to a person is, just like you know where your money is going, you need to know where your time is going. As I just noted, we have 1,440 minutes, and I break it down to 86,400 seconds a day, 168 hours a week. So just as you know where your money is going, you need to know where your time is going. So the first thing would be for you to do a time audit to say, how much time am I spending in areas that's 1, unproductive, 2, not adding value, and 3, not making any money. So you have to evaluate where you're spending your time. So a thing that a person can do is actually track and trace, where am I spending my time every day? And that's free. You can do that for free to know that, hey, I'm on social media X amount of time. And you're not going to do this. You can't wing it. You cannot wing it. You have to be very intentional, and it have to be laser focused time that you are spending on. I'm talking when you log on to Facebook or social media, you start a clock. And when you get off of it, you stop the clock. When you start doing whatever task you're doing, you start a clock and you stop a clock. So you have to be intentional at looking at that for about 5 days. And if you are procrastinating, a lot of times it's because we're doing something else has our attention, whether it's TV, whether it's napping, whether it's family, whether it's friends, whether we're all over the place doing these other different sorts of types of things. It's something else that we deem to be more important than the thing that need to be done.
Wow, thank you. That's a great stuff. Like, do a time audit. What are you doing with your time? It's usually 80-20. We are spending most of time on 80%, which is useless.
Right, exactly.
Right. Thank you. So what is the advanced stuff or advanced practice you didn't tell to anyone? And this is the premier thing right now.
Repeat that question one more time.
So on the procrastination subject, you haven't told anything anywhere on the subject, and you are telling us here the advanced stuff.
Let me see. One thing that you could do is, One thing I haven't told anyone. That's a pretty deep question because I work with procrastinators, and but let me, I work with procrastinators. So let me think that one thing that I have not told anyone, and I'm going to share with this audience on today. Okay, let me see. That's a hard one. Um, but if
It's
we
okay.
had
It's
to,
okay.
yeah,
Take
if
it
we
light.
had to Yeah, so if we had to pull one out, is that, all the things that you have on your list, you don't have to be the one to do them. All the things, and that is delegation, where I shared earlier, where you have to delegate. So one thing that I would want to share is work on your revenue generating things and let somebody else do the things that's not revenue generating in your business, or even in your household, or in your household. If we had to, and when you think about those things that are not generating income or not changing your bank account, you don't have to be in a business. You can be a stay-at-home mom, but if your bank account is not increasing, you need to ask yourself, why am I working on these tasks? Why am I spending energy and thinking about these things that are mentally draining and financially draining and add nothing to the bottom line, to the bank account?
Thank you. What is a mistake people doing when they are dealing with procrastination?
Well, I think one mistake that people are doing when they're dealing with procrastination is talking to other procrastinators. Because I mean, when you're unfocused, and I mean, this is like real deal. You're procrastinating on a task that you either fearful of doing, and you would talk to somebody else that don't have a clue about what you're working on. So you waste additional time talking to other procrastinators that don't even know the next step in their life. And so you're getting advice for them, asking them what they think. And so you're procrastinating even in that conversation when you could have been spending that energy on actually doing the tasks that need to be done. And I want to add here that a lot of times the things that we procrastinate on is not things that we don't know how to do. We're just afraid of what the outcome of them will be. If we would just actually do them and get the outcome, and those tasks blow your mind to think that, oh, I didn't think it was good, but everybody else, they enjoyed it. Everybody else, they liked it. Everybody else, and so we don't give ourselves that grace to think that this is pretty good. This is pretty good. And I think people be afraid to say that this is pretty good and it's okay the way it is. And so I think one thing that we do is talking to other procrastinators too long about a thing that they can't help us with.
So how can you help with procrastination, people? So what services you provide?
Services I provide group coaching, I provide one-on-one coaching. I do provide some consultant. And so I help individuals on 2 or 3 different levels. Again, mentoring, coaching, and consultant. And then I do, like things like this as I come out and I speak and I share. But this is just the surface. There's a deeper work that needs to be done. And so those are some of the things that I do to help individuals that struggle with procrastinating.
So how can we look for you and how can we get you?
Okay, I am on all social media. I am on my 2 main platforms is Facebook, and I'm on Facebook as Onika Shirley. I am on Instagram as Action Speaks Volume, and those are my 2 main platforms. And my email is also actionspeaksvolume@gmail.com.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate your time. It's
You're so welcome.
lots of wisdom we got from you. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you so much. You too. Have a good day.